Good morning. Today I'm kind of excited because I'm able to present a guest, and a friend of mine had stopped by and asked me if I would be willing to borrow his rifle so that I can put it on the mudroom, and of course I said yes. And it's a beautiful gun. It's one I'm not that familiar with, but I have tried to become familiar with it over the last couple of days. What I've got is my Karabiner 31, or the K31. It's a Swiss gun. It was developed in 1931. It was adopted by the Swiss military in 1933 and kept in service until 1958. Although there's evidence that it, in some instances, that it was actually still around in 1970. Or in the 1970s. It replaced the Schmidt-Rubin 1911 Swiss rifle, and because of that, a lot of people continue to call this even a Schmidt-Rubin, which is wrong because Schmidt and Rubin were both dead. 1890s and 1920s, and this wasn't developed until 1930s. So it's actually was developed by a I'm not going to even try to pronounce it. It's the EW factory or armory in Bern, Sweden, Switzerland. I'm sorry, in Switzerland. This is a bolt action, straight pull bolt action, magazine fed, has a 6-round magazine that comes out, or if you don't want that, you can look here. It's got a slot for a strip clip. You can put a stripper clip in there and that will load it too. We'll come back to the whole bolt thing here in a few minutes. It's got the, which I think is pretty cool, it's got the Swiss seal on it. Nice Swiss seal. It's got a rear sight which elevates, and the rear sight goes from 100 meters to 1500 meters. When it was designed using the 7.5 by 55 ammo, which is what this uses. The regular ball ammo that was provided by the military, they said optimal range was 300 yards. But now it also says that it has an ultimate range of, or a more accurate range of 500 yards. Now I know I'm going to get texts and I'm going to get messages saying, you know, I have one of those and it's so accurate that I can shoot 3,000 yards and knock pins in the wood and whatever. That's fine. Ammo's changed. It's not the same ammo that was used when it was designed. I'm just saying, going by what it said, that's all. So, front sight, you can see it's down in there. It's got its lug for the bayonet, and it's got the stacking rod, which sits right there. The stacking rod was used to put guns together in like a teepee fashion, and they put 3 guns at a time together, and it's a way to store them. When I was in boot camp, we used to do the same thing, and we'd stack our rifles. The stock itself is notoriously for, especially the end of the stock, for being in rough shape. And the reason for that is, number one, the military there used to use spikes on their feet, on the bottoms and the sides of their feet, to go onto their boots to help them get through the snow and ice and whatever. And also, when they would stack their guns in groups of 3, they would do it in the snow, and so the end of the stock was sitting in the snow, and that, you know, that's not good for the wood. The bolt itself, what is that sticking off the back? Well, I'll tell you what it is. it's part of the firing pin device. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bolt out. This is the bolt release right here. Bolt release. There it comes out. Alright, so I don't know how much I'm going to take this bolt apart. It's not my bolt. It belongs to somebody else. So what you have is when you put your bolt in to the rifle, what you've got is, this is like a stabilizing rod that goes in, because when you shove your bolt in, it's a straight pull, like I said, but unlike the straight pull for the steer that just had the bolt head turn, this also, the bolt itself also turns. And when I put the bolt back inside, I'll show you how that happens. So what happens is when the bolt turns, it turns on this stabilizing rod right here, and it turns. This is actually part of the firing pin device. What you do is, right now it's in the fire position. You can see the firing pins inside, and you can push it over to, when you turn it, you pull it out, and when you turn it clockwise, it goes into the safety position. And once it's in the safety position, you're not going to be able to pull the trigger or take the bolt out. It blocks it. So that's your the bolt. I wish I could take it apart for you, but I'm not going to do that. Like I said, it's not my bolt. If I get one of these, I will certainly do that. And I just don't want to mess unduly with other people's firearms. So there's your bolt that goes inside. You can see there's the extractor, and this is where the rod goes through that causes when you pull it back, this rod comes forward, hits the bottom of the cartridge, and causes it to be ejected. Oop, this would help if I had it the right way. So you put your bolt in. Always afraid I'm going to catch my fingers with the bolt. So now you put your bolt in, and watch, you can see. Oop. God damn it. Let me take the magazine out. And you can see where it turns. See the serial number? Can't see the serial number. Serial number. Not so serial. So that's where the bolt itself actually turns in the straight pull. Like I said, this fires the 7.5 by 55 round, which was a Swiss round, which was developed by the Rubin guy of the Schmidt-Rubin. This has side swivels, which, if anybody has carried a rifle for any period of time, even deer hunting or whatever, you know the side swivels are so much more comfortable than the swivels that are straight. I find it anyway, because when using the straight swivel, the rifle keeps hitting me in the back of the head, and maybe I'm not doing it right, but with the side, you don't have that happen, and it's a lot more comfortable. So anyway, this is the K31 Swiss rifle. Still very accurate. It's Swiss. People still use it and seek after it for its accuracy, and they use it for the target practice and whatever. And it actually, I haven't shot it. Maybe I will get to shoot one, but this would be a wonderful rifle for anybody's collection, I believe. It's pretty cool. Anyway, all right, well, thank you very much for watching, and we'll come back to our bolt series again, in case, unless we end up with another gun in the meantime. But all right, well, thank you.